It's back in the car. I didn't get it set up.
Hey
Also,
there,
I'm
everybody. I think we're live. This is Sean.
Oh, and Alex.
And things are a little bit different right now. In fact, I'm super confused. I'm super confused for a lot of reasons, but I'll get into that in a second here. So this is our live Q&A. We're the Dukes of Dice, obviously. In fact, I don't know why you would tune into this if you didn't know who we are.
I mean, you could randomly be on YouTube or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. And so yeah, this is our what is this? Our sixth live Q&A that we're doing this thanks to our awesome Patreon supporters. They broke the tier level where we're doing these monthly Q&As. So yeah, thank you very much, and everyone gets to benefit. So normally we have a bit of a different setup. Alex and I are usually together, and we have a nice camera and we have a better microphone. I don't know if anyone out there has joined in yet, but if you can tell me if the mic levels are okay, because I am currently off. I am off my laptop's microphone and my laptop's built-in camera, so I feel like feel different, Alex.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I have the recorder and a bunch of the other stuff. Because best laid plans, Sean. Best laid plans don't always work.
So I thought you were going to be here for this.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Let's walk this back a bit. So initially, you were supposed to be there where you are.
Yes.
And then, depending on how things worked out, maybe some special guests, because you are currently where?
I am currently here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, okay, so I'm super confused now. Okay, super confused.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, so let's walk this all back. So you were supposed to be doing this from Breckenridge initially.
Yes.
And then there was a family issue that you're like, yeah, I need to come back to Albuquerque for. And
Julian's grandmother passed away.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately. So I thought that you were confirmed to come back, and then you're like, yeah, and I'll join you for the hangout from Albuquerque.
I'm here from Albuquerque.
I thought that meant you were coming here to the Duchy. So I'm super confused. And then, yeah.
I'm allergic to the Duchy right now, Sean. I don't have a good explanation for why I'm over here, but I'm over here.
Okay. Boy, oh boy. Well, so that's okay.
I'm wearing, do you like my shirt, by the way? Check this out.
Rocky Mountain Gamification. Very cool.
So
so I'm also a little bit flustered right now because yesterday I woke up to a flat tire, like completely flat, can't hold air. So I think I hit a nail or something. And so Raquel's been taking me to work. I took an Uber home from work yesterday. I took an Uber home today. I left my cell phone in the Uber.
Oh.
And in the last 20 minutes, I've been unable to get a hold of myself. So a little flustered.
Nice.
So how you doing there, Alex? I
am doing well. It was a lot of driving, but I made it here all right.
So real quick, we got a bunch of people on right now. Well, I say a bunch, I mean 5, but that's a bunch.
Hey.
Hexanata, our buddy Matthew's on, Ryan Moore, and a couple others. So if you're there, you want to say hi over in the comments, by all means you can do that. If you're watching otherwise and you want to send questions into Twitter, you can use hashtag DODQA, which I have there at the bottom third of my screen. Or if you want to put them over in the guild, you can do that too. So all of those will work. And we'll, of course, answer questions over there in the YouTube chat. So before we do that, Alex, so you're going to tell us a little bit on the podcast that's going to drop on Monday, episode, was it 98?
Yes, episode 98. We haven't picked a name for this one yet, which is there's some contenders.
Yeah, it's a good list of names. So real quick, give us a quick background of what happened. Your time up there at Rocky Mountain Gamification.
Yes, so I got there a little bit later. It started over the weekend, I think, Saturday night or Sunday. I think it was Saturday night is when everyone really got there and got going. Might have been Sunday night. Anyway, regardless, got there a little bit late, but fantastic time. Breckenridge. Sean, have you been up to Breckenridge?
I have not been to Breckenridge.
Okay, so it's a beautiful mountain town. During the winter, I think it has 7 or 8 peaks for the ski area. Just an insane location. Right up there, higher elevation than even Santa Fe. So I was definitely even feeling the altitude, which I normally wouldn't be feeling in that situation. And boy, oh boy, was this cool. This is not your typical con gaming. So a gaming vacation is closest to a gaming cruise, where you're doing a lot of activities with fellow gamers, but you're also playing a ton of games with gamers. Gaming is present, but it's not necessarily the focus. The focus is the vacation with a lot of good gaming. So it was a good combination of things, a lot of outdoor activities, a lot of great photo spots, hiking, a lot of people already commenting on Twitter and YouTube about Dan King and myself going on a whitewater rafting trip, and Dan plucking me from the Arkansas River.
I resisted responding to those tweets because number one, I'm thinking, well, if you're dead and we don't have a podcast,
yeah,
then I can play Terra Mystica and Zolkin all the time.
Yeah,
and that sounded appealing, Alex.
Yeah, but you're still stuck with me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Maybe I should take out a life insurance policy on Duke.
By the way, we came up with a game during that whitewater rafting trip. Floating America.
Excellent.
It's fully cooperative. The only goal is not dying.
Hey, is anyone out there that's listening, if you let us know how our levels are. I feel like I'm at like a decent level. I feel like Alex is loud, but if we're about the same, then cool. If not, then yeah.
I'm always loud.
You're always loud. Yes.
That's an accurate statement.
So Hexenata wants to talk about Brexit. I don't think we're going to be talking about that.
No,
probably not.
You don't have good Brexit gaming related thoughts?
No, but so he's saying 51.9% in the UK are Ameritrashers. They want to leave Eurogames.
Okay.
So Alex, why don't you turn down the input on the digital recorder like 5 notches?
So I'm not actually using the digital recorder.
Okay, perfect.
Which is also in the car. So the nice camera and the digital recorder are both in the car.
Oh, good. I'm not worried at all.
It's in a garage. It's all right. I'll see if I can turn down my mic level. Bear with me here.
Okay. So what else? So while you're doing that, what else is going on up there in Denver, or in Breckenridge rather?
So we had a group of people go to an escape room. There were other groups. Yeah, that was fun. That felt, and I think I've showed you this clip on Big Bang Theory when they went to the escape room, and everyone just dominated. The group of gamers we had that went through that, it was their hardest room, and we just straight dominated the escape room. So that worked out pretty well. There was horseback riding. There was a Jeep excursion that went out. I think there were a couple of other things. The other big one was the Breck Summer Fun Park. So if you wanted to do mountain sliding, and oh, hey, Mike's on. Mike Canavan.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we sure can.
Yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm doing great. Just got on, so thanks for inviting me.
Well, yeah,
and,
I mean, the plan was to do it there with you, possibly with Mike Fitzgerald and Dan, but, you know, things happen, so thanks for being flexible.
Yeah, no sweat. Yeah, they're on vacation, Dan and Mike. They're out eating, so, you know.
So how's this going for you right now, Mike?
Oh, amazing. You know, with the location switch for us, there was a lot of variables that we didn't know everything about. So there was still a lot of pressure. You know, when we used to do the event back in Jackson, we had it pretty well figured out. And so switching locations was a big change for us, but it's gone fantastic. Room's been great. Town's been awesome. Guests have been loving it. Nothing has really come up that changed it for the worse. And the returning guests are raving about the new destination. Obviously, I'm biased, but you know, yeah, no, great year. And the special guests, having Mike and Dan here, has really added a new element with the guests being able to hang out with such big, you know, kind of industry names. So it's cool.
Definitely. So I'm keeping you up on screen right now. I'm looking at the library, and it looks fantastic. So you've got Kemet in there.
That's not even half of it. You got to pan down. Yeah, pan down and show it. Yeah. Oh, it keeps going. Oh, yeah, it keeps going. Still keeps going.
That's awesome.
You were never short for a good game to play. That's for sure.
I mean,
so as impressive as the library, today we had a deer walk right by the window. Alex, like right by the window. Like everybody's playing games, they look out, there's a deer. We had a moose walk through the townhomes, I think on Tuesday or maybe it was Monday.
Yeah, I heard about that. When everyone kept talking about the foxes, there were these wild foxes that were going around too, and I missed out on that somehow. I never saw that, which was a bummer. I heard that was really cool.
Yeah. My kids saw those too. Yeah.
Can I say this? And you mentioned the rooms going well. I was absolutely, completely blown away by the quality of the rooms that you guys were able to get there. Especially when I looked at the price that you guys ended up charging for the vacation itself. Insane, the kind of accommodations out there. So I was just blown away, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, you were even in you guys were in a townhome, you and Jake, right?
Yeah, no, we were pretty well taken care of.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we picked this as our destination. You know, quality for price. It's just that I could find when we were looking between Boulder, Estes Park, Seattle area, kind of the Olympics. We just couldn't come close. Just meant I could get something.
Very cool. So, Alex, what was the highlight? Was it the gaming or was it the vacationing?
So the whitewater rafting with Dan King was pretty awesome, and we had a pretty good time on that boat together. Myself, Dan, Denise, a few other gamers. It was two Brians and I can't remember the other one's name. But we had a great boat of 6 people. There's some fantastic pictures other than the ones already up on Twitter, which I'll try and post later. There's one where I think I was the only one who spotted the camera person. So you see everyone else rowing, looking over the camera, smiling. So
imagine that the reporter knows where to find the camera.
It worked out. I'm just saying. Fantastic gaming pieces of this too. The big highlight for me is I had never played Pitch Car coming into this, and that was a ton of fun, especially late at night when you get these 6, 7, 8-person games of Pitch Car, and then people trying to create the most diabolical tracks possible, especially that last one with the we were calling it.
Wait, say that again. You were calling it what?
The Canavan Gap.
Okay.
It was an evil jump. I'll just put it that way.
So Michael, do you have like the Pitch Car track set up like permanently? Not permanently, but for the duration of the vacation.
Yeah. So Pitch Car is very serious amongst the Icarus Tour staff because we're here till late at night, so we take our Pitch Car very seriously. But we always have a Pitch Car track set up that changes, at least every day, if not a little more frequently.
Okay.
Just as a nice thing for somebody to finish a game or to start a game or something, you can jump on there and play. Phil's kind of one of the 6-foot round convention tables, and like by the end of the week, the staff start getting into like defensive rules where you've got like one car going the opposite way around the track that's just trying to ram the other cars off, and having to do it left-handed or different fingers, or very, very serious.
The assassination were ones that we came up with kind of mid-trip, which came in handy. Those were fun.
Very cool. All right, well let's answer some questions, shall we? So if you've got questions over on the YouTube chat, go ahead and plug those in. I'm going to go over to our BGG page. By the way, if you're not a member of our Board Game Geek Guild, you can go over to BoardGameGeek.com. Guild 2008, I believe, is what we are. Let's see. There's a bunch of posts in the guild, but there's not that many questions.
I don't think there is one at this point.
Nope. Okay. Just people saying, "Hey, I wish I could make it."
Can I say other highlight, Sean, that I want to? So the RPG setup is really cool too, and Mike, you're gonna have to forgive me. I forgot the guy's name who ran it for you guys continuously. He did a great job. I ended up getting it on the Star Wars
Mike Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step away for a quick second. Discuss amongst yourselves.
Okay. But what I liked was you had the RPG side of things pretty well catered to as well, Mike. And how many different campaigns or scenarios did you guys end up running throughout the entire vacation?
Based on what the guests kind of requested at the beginning, we ended up doing 2. We did that Star Wars Edge of the Empire, and then we did, just last night, we did Dungeon World with a group of 4. Yeah, Mike does a fantastic job. He's really good at doing kind of intro-type stuff. If we do get some heavier role-playing groups, he can do more. But, Dungeon World's great for kind of a one-off type adventure, and then Star Wars was a specific request by some of the guests that wanted to try it. So, yeah, it worked out great.
Now, are you guys running the Championship Baseball Highlights Tournament? Because one of the things that made me smile was there was plenty of baseball highlights out on the table. Pretty much every day I was there.
Yeah, it's neat learning or playing the game when the designer's like across the room, and not only can you get the rules out of the rule book, but you can get them how he intended them. So yeah, tons of baseball highlights, which I had never played. Played it, loved it. I call it Kickball Highlights 2045 because I like kickball better than baseball. It's the same game. But I think that we had the tournament last night, and I think there's been quite a bit of it out, but I don't think we're going to do another tournament.
Gotcha. How'd you like that game personally? Because I know I had just taught it to you for the first time.
I really appreciate games that are action-packed from the very first action, which is not a rarity, but definitely not common.
Right.
Well, I guess, I don't know, every game is like that. And Baseball Highlights is one of those games where from the very first thing that you do, it matters. There is no wasted action in that whole game. There's no build-up. There's no first 3 turns of a deck builder buying resource cards. There's none of that. Yeah, I really liked it. Very different than anything. Coming from a person who really does not only couldn't care less about baseball, I kind of actively hate it. So I loved it. So.
One of the interesting things, Sean, if you'll remember, we had that dummy card, the Chris Correa card that had the offensive and defensive ability out there. He had that printed version up, and folks were playing with that. But also, this little guy.
Yeah, I saw that. A pretty
Shiny.
sweet. Here, let me keep you up. There we go.
Shiny. Look at that. Hang on. Get it closer. That's Whipple's Revenge. There was another foil card, but this was the one that Mike had for me separately. Check these out. This is the travel version of the card. So on one side, visitor, the other side, home. So if you want to play Baseball Highlights with smaller components, there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, we do have a question on the YouTube stream, and Hexenauto was curious, and this one you can probably address, Mike. What was the most played game at the convention this year?
Onitama, by far. Just because it's so quick, So we have a system, Alex kind of saw it, that we put little stickers on a game, a little smiley face sticker every time it gets played. That helps me keep track of what games are getting played, which isn't too hard, but Onitama definitely won in sheer volume. Looks like no times. Popular ones, Mombasa got played quite a bit.
I saw that.
Motainai because Mike Fitzgerald is absolutely obsessed with it, and he taught me, and now I'm obsessed with it. So
good, awesome.
Yeah, the Gallerist came out a couple of times. Quadropolis. Yeah, I think that probably. But Onitama was by far the number one played and raved about. I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So Sean, I finally got in a best of 3 with Mike Fitzgerald in the tie-now.
Oh, okay.
Trying to defend the Duchy's honor.
Okay.
I got him game 1, 22-15, somewhere in that range. Game 2, I ended it, but he beat me 14-13.
Woo.
And then game 3, I topped him. So I've upheld the Duchy's honor.
Okay. So the Ducal Wii is 2-0 against Mike Fitzgerald.
He wants to play a 3-player game at Dice Tower Con.
Okay, let's do it. Let's totally do it.
Alex, if I can top you, I've never lost a game of Motainai so far, and Mike taught me. I beat him the first game, so.
Ooh, okay. Oh, all right.
Well, so
that's why you gotta play a best of 3.
So Hexenauta just posted. He said,
yeah.
I haven't been able to play Motainai. I didn't understand the rulebook very well. And because we, again, Ducal we, have been such big proponents of Motainai, I get people asking me all the time if we would do some sort of playthrough or instructional thing to teach people how to play Motainai, because it's really difficult to teach. It's really difficult to get. And so I think that's something we may want to look at doing in the near future. Nothing fancy, just something quick and dirty. Here's how we would teach it. Here's the playthrough so you can get the flow of it. 'Cause I get that asked quite often, actually.
Motainai is like from caveman times. There are stories that are passed from generation to generation, but writing it down doesn't help. You can only do pictures and try and explain it. But yeah, it's that kind of a game, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, Michael, Matthew has a question for you. What seems to be the most popular outdoor draw at the vacation so far?
Our add-on adventures, the whitewater rafting is typically the most popular. I think we had 18 this year. We had a lot going, the horseback riding. But I think if I could, those tend not to be what people remember the most. I think it's just, and Mike Fitzgerald was talking about this, the ease of switching between vacation mode and convention/gaming mode is super simple. The townhomes are literally, I mean, it's all one big resort. They're right here. The gaming here, we're always open. Always got staff across the it's not this brutal walk or I have to take the shuttle or anything. So the ease of switching between I just got back from the horseback ride to getting into a game to finishing up that game, going to eat dinner, I think is lost on some people who don't come in here, because from Teton Con, which is what we called the event we used to run in Jackson, to Rocky Mountain Gaming Vacation, to take that word con out of the name. I mean, there's no doubt this is a gaming convention, but it's also very much an outdoors, and not even, I mean, you don't have big outdoorsmen to come who aren't big hikers or whatnot. For example, you walk across the street, you can jump on the free gondola here at Breck and take it up to One Ski Hill. It goes over these gorgeous moose ponds with all these beaver dams. It all up. That could be 3 minutes after you finished your last game. The resort up on the hill where we do the bowling and we have social games there. So it's just, it's very different going from a game here, jumping on a sports gondola, walking through nice downtown, up to the resort, seeing the mountain, and then walking in and playing code names in a 2-lane bowling alley that's, that we just have, that the staff's up there. We've got some food and some drinks. So, yeah.
Yeah, and this is actually one show where if come next year or a future year at some point, I wouldn't mind bringing Jillian on this. I think she would actually have a blast at something like this, because it isn't. She isn't such a big gamer, and if you're not a big gamer and you're kind of one of those gamer spouses, it accommodates that really well because of how Breckenridge is set up, because of all the other activities going on, because of the townhomes, the condos, the situation. It doesn't mean there isn't a ton of gaming going on for those real gamers, but it's set up well enough where I absolutely wouldn't mind if I had a non-gaming or light gaming spouse, if that makes sense.
Okay, cool.
I think Raquel's really going to like it. I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah, no, she's going nuts about it. She's really excited for it because we used to do. Well, she used to do a lot more outdoorsy stuff, and like when we first started dating, we did a little bit more outdoorsy stuff, and then she kind of got sucked into gaming, and so I think she'd be excited to have that blend of things. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, and I think she is too. So Ryan Moore asks for you, Michael, what was the attendance this year, and what's the growth rate been like?
Sure. So let me give you the history. Our first year we had 40 guests. Our second year we had 30 guests, so it was down, but we had more gamers. So our first year we had, they pretty much weren't even gamers who came. It was kind of interesting. And then last year we were about 45, and then this year about 65. So, we came to Breck because the price point's a little easier to get into. I don't think that Teton Con was overpriced. It was great trip, but we're able to offer a very similar experience, if not better, in almost every way for about $500 a couple lower. So if you count the special guests, this year we're up around a little over 60, and we've got. So I've been working with Mike and Dan and get the word out, and that's really what we've needed. So this will be our 5th year coming up next year. We know we're going to knock it out of the park, and we expect to hit at least 75 next year, and I have to work with the resort to see if we can get up to 100. I really, at this point, don't want to go over 100. I think the event would lose the feel that it has, because I refuse to let the event grow into something that I don't get mentioned in a nice town, right? What my staff does and what we're able to do and how we run it is more important to me than growing into multiple hundred people, because that won't be an Icarus Tours event. So I expect that we will have no problem hitting 75 next year, and so I think somewhere between 75 and 100.
Cool. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Hexanon is asking if any of us are going to Essen this year. Michael, are you going to Essen by any chance?
No, running my own thing takes up most of my time. I'll probably be going to BGG-Con this year, and that's probably it for me. So
cool.
I'm going to Essen.
You are not going to Essen. You're a dirty liar. So I think Essen. I would love to go to Essen. I would absolutely love to go to Essen. Right now, I will be happy. So we're doing Dice Tower Con. I'm doing BGG. Alex might be doing BGG. Next year, in addition to those things and Rocky Mountain, I'm also looking at Origins, which makes for an interesting grouping. I'm not sure what the schedule looks like next year, but I know like this year, Dan flew directly from Origins out to Colorado for the Rocky Mountain Gaming Con, or vacation, excuse me. So
yeah, and we.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we've talked about the timing of our con. You know, it's unfortunate that, I mean, all summer, this gaming is so popular now, you can't avoid every convention. You just got to pick and go a week. But, you know, for me, it's all about, I got to make the best experience for my guests that come here, and this is the time for that. It's not too hot, because the summer months haven't quite hit here yet. We're at 9,000 feet, so it's still 40 degrees in the evenings, but it's 80 degrees during the day. If I go later than this, we're going to start to get into kind of hot, sweaty, muggy weather. But if I go earlier than this, I mean, they have snow here through April, May. So I wish I could find a better time, and we're still working on the dates for next year, because I waited to sign my contract for next year to make sure that this was everything I expected it to be. But a week or two. So yeah, there's a little bit of timing there, but you know, I even if I separated it by a week, I don't think most people go to back-to-back cons, so you're choosing between, you know, kind of where you want to head to.
Yeah, I think so. Origins looked like a lot of fun. Gen Con, I was planning on going this year, and I've told this story a couple times, that basically because I changed jobs, I'm at a much smaller firm, and one of the three attorneys, three of us, one of them is going to have a baby in like 2 weeks. So she's going to be on maternity leave, so it's not in the cards this year. But I'm less inclined to go to Gen Con. I mean, I have plenty of fun with Gen Can't, but I think Origins might be a thing. And then depending on the podcast, depending on our awesome Patreon backers, hopefully at some point something like Essen can help get subsidized by that. So I don't know, we'll see. But I would love to go to Essen.
There's an easy solution to all this.
Yes.
You just need to become a board game lawyer. You can change your firm to a board game attorney firm, and you'll have no problem going to every con you need to.
Yes, I'm sure. Yep, that's it exactly. But no, what's nice is I think I'll actually have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule at this new job, though. When my other attorney's not having a baby. People having babies, I tell you. So, Alex, do you want to go to Essen?
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to. love to check out Essen. I've been to Germany. I just Essen would be kind of the ultimate, you would think. I mean, it's a totally different experience than any kind of American con because you really get to have that culture shock and also get to see a ton of these awesome games they make their way to our stores. So I'd be super stoked for Essen. Absolutely.
So Hexonata says the name of the board game law firm would be Law-Is and Clark.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Law-Is and Clark.
How about Meeple and Meeple? You're right.
Yeah, Meeple and Associates.
Yeah.
So no, I was saying that after your guys' your whitewater rafting experience, you should have played either Lewis and Clark or Discoveries, the Journals of Lewis and Clark. And Dan was not impressed by that idea.
I think I played twice. I think the original Lewis and Clark I played twice.
We had a game for this.
Right, but this is a game that involves actual rafting down a river.
Well, it's more like canoeing, though, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah, they didn't have modern rafts.
I think technically Lewis and Clark rafted up the river.
Okay, up the river. So yeah, you guys drew it the easy way.
Well, first one.
Yeah, it was downhill from the Rockies, right? Going to the coast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, checking out for some other questions here. What other highlights from the vacation? And when's it over? When's the exact end date?
Sure. So this is our last night of gaming. So it does start Sunday morning. Guests are welcome to arrive anytime after noon on Sunday, and then it runs the 5 weekdays. And then Saturday, the guests check out Saturday morning. There's no gaming here tomorrow. We got to pick up and get out of here. Make it back to my wife before she divorces me. And yeah, so this is the big hurrah. It's just starting to fill back up now after dinner because we have a big lull through the kind of the dinner hour as folks go find something to eat. But this is usually probably the most packed night of board gaming, so we're excited.
Okay. Is there anyone that goes that doesn't take advantage of some of the more vacation-y stuff and they just treat it like a con and just play games the whole time or most of the time?
Yes. I mean, we definitely have guests that come that are really interested in the gaming aspect of it. I like to think that the gaming here is really high quality as well as quantity. So the fact that we can teach most of the games in the library, people learn a lot of new games here. Find somebody to teach them. We have folks that come and are here, from mid-afternoon, but very rarely do people just come from open to close every day. They do kind of start looking for that break, that kind of way to get away a little bit. And I think the happy hour that we do and the dinner out with the special guests that we arrange provides a kind of structure to still be wrapped up a little bit in kind of gaming culture without having to go horseback riding or whatnot. No one's ever complained about the gaming library for sure. You can easily fill a week's worth of gaming here. So, yeah.
Just in what's behind you in frame, I would be super happy for a weekend or a week because you've got Kemet, you've got Bora Bora, Amerigo. I see Pathfinder. Alex, we can replay Pathfinder. We can do the whole thing there.
There were people playing that. There were people playing that while I was there, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, so even just that little chunk, and there's 10 times that, it looks like, from the shot you showed earlier. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
There it is. Oh yeah, Sean, look at this.
Oh yeah. But here, let me keep you up there.
Screen?
Yep. Like what? You're shameless. You realize that?
Everyone else is hard at work.
I know.
Water.
You're like, oh, is that a camera?
Yeah.
Do you have some other pictures you can throw up?
Yeah, I can. Hang on 1 second. I'll get the share back on. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So Michael, are you able to enjoy yourself like, I mean, aside from doing the work, are you able to play games? Are you able to go do any excursion stuff?
Yeah, well, I don't do any excursions. I see them all out, and I see them all come back. So, that's part of it. For me, it is work.
Sure.
I mean, I do a lot. I get to play games. There are certain games that the staff absolutely love. One of your favorites, Letters from Whitechapel. I know that's not true, but the staff are absolutely enamored with it. We play it any chance we get that, it's typically late in the evening, because we can play it so pretty quick. And I got to play a Fury of Dracula. The folks asked me to play as Dracula. I'm a huge Hidden Movement player. And there's always a couple of games. Mare Nostrum, which just came to my house before we came here. I've been trying to get somebody interested in it so I could get a play, but I've been failing. I think I just haven't been trying hard enough. But generally, I won't play. I have 5 other staff members that, since I pay them nothing, I try and get them into the fun stuff. So they do the dinners, they do the happy hour, they go up to the fun park with the guests, they play games when I need to, and I am very much the guy who makes sure everything that's supposed to be happening is happening, and that something comes up. And I also have another staff member, Dan, who takes care of much of the behind-the-scenes things with the resort and things along those lines. But he does come in and play games as well. Great gamer as well.
Cool. Now, on Mare Nostrum from Academy Games, do you have the Kickstarter edition with the chips, the poker chips, and the playmat and everything?
I have it is the Kickstarter copy. I did not add on all the fancy dancy stuff. It comes with the plastic units.
Yeah.
I haven't added all of that. I've kind of stopped doing that on various games from Kickstarter. I just started back because I realized, like, having to know so many games and having to keep the library current. What's behind us is great, but we have we stole it from BGG, the hotness down at the end, which is all the new games, and I need to know how to play all those. So I just find I never get to use all the extra expansions and whatnot. And the cool components are nice, but I could pick up another game for often the same price, and the guests would probably prefer more selection versus one play of the super pimped out copy. But I'm super excited to play Mare Nostrum. I love the abstracted economy of it. Not that I've played it yet, but it just seems really interesting.
So our buddy Jared, he's another Patreon. He's a Patreon Baron, actually. He has the Kickstarter copy. He brought it Wednesday night to Empire Board Game Library. So we had the big playmat. They really had a blast. It took about 4 of them, about 3 hours to teach and play. And it looked awesome. I'm really excited to give that a play. How you doing over there, Alex?
Yeah.
Are you watching this? You been watching this?
Well, here I'll put him up though.
Okay, hang on. Put me up. I'm gonna play it through one more time.
Okay.
Ready and go.
That's a boat.
Yep.
That's people getting wet.
Yep.
You're narrating this. You should narrate this right now. What are you doing?
Floating America, trying not to die.
Not sing. You're Charlie.
Cooperative. There's a big safety talk.
So your rafting guide, he looks like a pretty cool dude.
Oh yeah. He was a pretty chill dude. His name was CJ.
Okay.
Denise, Dan's wife, picked him because he was the hottest of the 3 options that we had.
All right, fair enough. That's a good reason as any. Ignore skill, ignore ability to keep you alive.
Oh, this guy was skilled. He was spinning us down some of these rapids. It was pretty cool.
And super hot.
Well, yeah, that's the key. Anyway, so that's the slideshow.
Very cool.
I
I feel like you need a helmet in real life.
I need a what?
A helmet.
Oh yeah, in real life.
As clumsy as you are, you need a helmet.
Yeah, it can be a little clumsy. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah. So Hexanata says everyone's working hard with the paddle, and Alex is smiling happily.
Yep, pretty much.
And he also mentioned earlier when Michael was talking about getting back to his wife, otherwise she's going to divorce him. He says, we all take that divorce risk. My wife talks about divorce when a package with games arrives home. Here's the deal. Here's the plan. So I'm a divorce attorney, so I should be a board game divorce attorney.
Yes, absolutely.
I represent gamers who get divorced when one too many Kickstarters arrive.
Now, what happens if you have a couple, both of whom like Tzolk'in?
Yeah.
How do you properly allocate Tzolk'in in that situation?
No, and that's what we'll do. So we'll have, because when you get divorced, if you're a community property state, you have to do an equalization of assets and debts. Board games are assets.
Yeah.
And so, you just kind of have to say, all right, well, you're going to get Tzolk'in, you're going to get Terra Mystica, you're going to get Caverna. it's.
But what if it's just one copy of Tzolk'in and there's just such a huge fight that you have to have it? Do you divide it in half? Like halfway across the gears, or does that not quite work?
Well, then you tell them, you're like, look, just buy another copy of Tzolk'in. The hour it's taking to fight over this one copy, you could buy like 10 copies of Tzolk'in. So,
but don't you need the billable hours? Wouldn't you like that anyway?
No, I'm not trying to bilk these clients. I'm trying to help people because I'm an ethical attorney.
Oh man, ethics. Psh. Who needs that?
So yeah, Hexanauta going to hire me. I'll send you the quote for the retainer.
Matthew had another question.
Yes. So how do most people? So this is for you, Michael. How do most people fly into Denver to get to Breckenridge for the vacation?
So probably about half our guests flew, the other half drove some various distance. Denver's pretty easy to get to. It's a direct flight from many airports, unless you're out at a regional kind of East Coast airport. And then I was kind of worried about the transportation from Denver, a 2-hour drive. And we took that into consideration when picking the resort, but everybody raved about the drive. It's really still light here till pretty late, although most people got in by 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's a shuttle company that will take you from the airport up to here, and we are actually, it is my goal to include that next year. So this year that was on. I would like to, I think if we get to the numbers that we plan on getting to next year, that we will be able to include that. No promises to everyone, but the shuttle ride is gorgeous. I mean, you come up, it's just up I-70, but it's up the Rockies. You're going through these really neat canyons, and then you get to Breckenridge, and it's just a couple of minutes off the interstate. So it really, I don't think it was as much of an issue as I expected it to be. The shuttle has an option to drop you off at the gondola station, and you're literally a 3-minute walk from here, so you don't have to get the door-to-door service or any of that stuff. It was really a non-issue. Some people did prefer to rent cars. The shuttle is about $40 per person each way, so it's not the cheapest thing in the world. It's certainly cheaper than running a car. And then we try and pick destinations that are good for folks who will not have transportation. And that was another thing I was really worried about here, is that it would not be as good as it was sold to me. And we scouted the destination, but you don't get a sense for it in one afternoon. And I would say this is an even better location than TetonCon for not having a car, because you're so close to downtown. The gondola runs up. There's hiking, everything you could want at the base of the mountain up at One Ski Hill. And I think a lot of the folks that even have had cars, they've just been parked in the garages for the townhomes.
Yeah, that was the case with me pretty much. There was not a situation where I really needed my car. It's a very walkable town with a ton of activities just right there.
And the other thing that I don't think people would catch on if they're convention goers is that with the small player count that we have here, you get to know the other guests really good. So if they have cars, and they're going to do something, you don't feel awkward being like, or they'll ask you, oh, we're going to go and do this, and we're going to drive there, or we're going to run to Walmart. You can jump in rides with them. But even going over to Frisco, which is like the other kind of neat, cool town over by a reservoir, there's a free bus that runs from the gondola station to Frisco, which is like 5 miles away. You can get to. They have a Walmart there, but there's a grocery store I mean, literally almost connected to the gondola parking lot. And although we do stock the condos, if you have some special dietary things that you want, and although we do try and work with those, it's an easy walk to get there and pick up your, whatever it is that you need.
So Alex, what was your percentage time that you were vacationing versus playing games?
I'd say it was pretty close to 50-50 if I'm thinking about it, because I had the whitewater rafting. I went up to Boreas Pass, got some photos, was up at the Breck Summer Fun Park. Some of it was just lounging and enjoying outside and walking outside and being in beautiful fresh air and beautiful sights. And a lot of it was...
Real quick, when you say lounging, do you mean like you're doing now, just kind of lounging back? Pay me like one of your French girls, Jack.
This is actually what I'm actually standing up right now. This is how I stand.
Is it? That's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, go on.
But no, I'd say it ended up being pretty close to 50-50 when you include the meals out with folks and things like the escape room, which I don't know if you consider that gaming or not. I guess it kind of depends on your definition at the time. I'd say about 50-50. Yeah, I'd say that's about right. And any percentage within that you want to find, whether you wanted to go balls to the wall, full-on con gaming, you could probably get pretty close to that. Or if you wanted to just do very light gaming, you could do that and have a great time. So I love how there's this kind of free-flowing atmosphere where you can balance it out however you want to balance it out. I thought that worked out really well.
So one of the things that I like about cons, and I also kind of dread, like I'm dreading this about Dice Tower Con, not getting a lot of sleep. I'm usually going to bed like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 8:30 to just hit it again. Are you finding that to be the case at the vacation too, or I don't know?
Is that for me or is that for Mike?
Just both.
Okay. For me personally, because the gaming room itself is open until 1, that in a sense puts a limit on things. And I would say when you get kind of closer to that 1 o'clock time, the room's already pretty well emptied out. A lot of folks do end up making their way to bed. So it's because you have those morning activities that you want to get to. For instance, that whitewater rafting trip left at about 8:15. So you could stay up late if you wanted to, but this is not one of those cons where you have to keep in mind the 6-2-1 rule. The 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, 1 shower. You're going to probably do that on this vacation just naturally, just based on how it's set up. By the way, what helps with that is the fact that the rooms are stocked with food. Literally, I mean, plenty of deli meat. I went through a whole thing of English muffins with butter and peanut butter and all that. There's snacks, there's bananas, there's apples. So I mean, there's a good variety of things just in the room, so that it's really hard to. It would be really hard not to have your 2 meals a day. I'll put it that way. Just the way it's all set up.
Yeah, we closed the game hall at 1, not because we do, but gosh, for another 40 minutes. So, but because largely, everyone's left by then, and some nights we close up at 12:30 because everybody's left. And I think they've had a bunch of great gaming, and they're ready to go to sleep. There's a different attitude here than just the maximize gaming. And we open up at 10 in the morning, and it's usually pretty slow. For the first few hours, we'll have 4 people going. And then about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, picks up heavy with gaming until dinner-ish. People go out at 5 or 6.
I'm going to step away real quick.
Oh, you're good.
Continue.
And, I think I don't certainly play more, but I don't think anyone is concerned about the amount of gaming they get in. Right. Because of the ease of getting in a game, or there's no waiting. There's very rarely the copy of the game one is checked out, or you're not waiting for a scheduled event. If you see a game that you're like, oh, I really want to play that this week, or let the staff know, we'll have it. We'll schedule it for the next night or something. So, yeah, I think people get plenty of sleep here, Alex. I think you attest to that.
Yep, no, that's absolutely true. Now, and Matthew Ward asked on the YouTube thread about tournament gaming, how often that comes up. And obviously we saw baseball tie-legs tournaments kind of break out organically. I know there was a Ticket to Ride tournament that was sort of kind of going on. I couldn't tell to what extent that really had the player count. It seems like there's certainly opportunity for tournament gaming. It just depends on the game and the situation.
Sure. Yeah, we have the Ticket to Ride. It's called the World Tour event. We do it every year. It's not really, well, I guess it's a tournament. You kind of get a collective score for all the maps you play. Very popular with many of the lighter gamers, often the lesser gamer of the couple. And then the Speed Dungeon is another competitive thing. Yeah. So we have a nice Dwarven Forge setup for Speed Dungeon that we run through. It's an hour timed event. So we've had 2 groups go through that this year. I think there's actually another one getting set up right now.
Oh, awesome.
So that'll be group 3, and I suspect we'll have another one tonight. That's really fun because it's, the exact amount of time you're getting invested in. It's an hour plus 10 minutes of rules explanation and how it works, and then the timer goes on, and you see how far you can get through this dungeon, But I tell people, if you're still alive at the end of the hour, you were trying hard enough. So,
well, we might as well have had a pitch car tournament, just based on how hardcore people were. We might as well have had a tournament for that. Could have easily done that.
Right. And the staff has our bragging rights games of Letter of Whitechapel. That we have bragging rights for a year as to who won or who dominated the others. So.
Yep.
So
Sean, while you were gone, we answered Matthew's question.
You answered Matthew's question?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear it, so repeat it all.
Every single thing. You got it. No problem.
Yeah, so for those that don't know that maybe just tuning in or weren't here from the beginning, I left my phone in an Uber, and so I'm working on that right now.
Oh, no.
Because I had a flat tire, and so.
Way to go, Sean.
That's okay.
I have the photographer sitting right here with me, and I wanted to pull up one of the pictures to give folks an idea what the gaming hall looks like.
Yeah, do it.
Like. Let me go to share screen here. I'm not as Google Hangout savvy as you guys are.
You can also turn the laptop around. You'd probably see. Folks would probably see.
Oh yeah. Well, here's a pretty good picture.
Yep.
Can you guys see that?
You can see Mike Fitzgerald over there on the right.
And Mark Street from Board Game Corner.
Yep, and then we had Cyclades going on. We got our big banner in the back there. The game room's probably another 50% of that big.
Yep.
You got to remember we only have 60-ish guests, so it's not huge. But
perfect.
Right out that window, you can see the light kind of shining in from the left. That's right where that deer walked by this afternoon.
Natural lighting in the game room? That's
there's
crazy.
Plenty of light in there, Sean. That's the thing. It's not con gaming. Like, it's not one of those things where you step out from the air-conditioned hall and, oh, my goodness, the entire day's gone by. Like, you can see how light it is outside.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Alex, are you now asleep in your bed?
No, don't worry about it. I had a 6-hour drive, okay? This is 6-hour drive back, Mike. By the way, I almost fell asleep on the road this morning at one point. I had to pull over and take a nap for 15 minutes, just about a couple hours outside of town because I got up too early.
So I tell Alex what games he needs to play, and I make sure he plays them. I tell him what his bedtime is. I make sure he eats supper, including the peas. He hates peas, but I make him eat the peas. I don't care, Alex. Eat your peas.
So I can grow up to be big and strong? Is that the idea?
That's the plan. Oh, boy. All right.
Well,
so
guys,
you going to take off?
Yeah, I really enjoy doing this, but we've got some stuff going on tonight that I got to be a part of, and I got to get out and run this thing. So I appreciate everything, and I hope to see as many of you as I can next year. And it's great getting to know Alex better while you guys are here.
Fantastic meeting you in person, Michael. Take it easy.
All right, thanks, Michael. Appreciate it.
So, Sean, Alex, I got in a bunch of new plays. Did I get in more new plays than you did this week?
Oh yeah. I played Terra Mystica on Wednesday night, of all things. So that's Terra Mystica twice in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm what are you doing?
I'm fidgety, Sean. Don't worry about it.
I would never have known that, Alex. Never. So yeah, you probably got way more plays than I did this week.
So there's one I'll talk about on the episode that I can't talk about now.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun, and blew my mind, and I think you're gonna love. But I can't talk about it right now, so don't ask me about it.
Well, let me ask you this:
Yes.
Will it? No, I better not. I'll ask you.
No. We'll talk about it on the episode.
I can't wait till the morning.
I know when we record episode 98, blank of blank.
Oh, we're recording tomorrow.
Yes.
Which means we can do Sunday morning gaming. Well,
you can.
Maybe not you.
Yeah.
Okay. This weekend just got interesting. Interesting.
What are you gonna play on Sunday?
Maybe Food Chain.
Oh God.
Yeah, 4 because I need to play it at 4. I've only played it at 3 and 2 and 5.
You don't need to play it at all, Sean.
I do because it's awesome, and you're crazy. So, any plans for tonight, or are you just kind of relaxing?
I am recovering from the road trip, and then also helping support Jillian. So,
sure.
So hanging out here, and you're going over to Empire, right? That's what you were saying.
Raquel and I, when we get done here, we're going to head over to B2B, which stands for
Burgers to Beer.
Burgers. I thought, isn't Bistronomy in there somewhere?
Oh, it might be Bistronomy to Burgers. Something
like that. So it's this great, fantastic burger place that is right down by Empire, and they make fantastic burgers. I'm going to get the one with what they call it? Sunrise? The one with the egg on top?
Yeah.
And they have like 40 or 50 different local brews on tap. So that's going to be awesome. So we're going to head down there. We're going to go to Empire. And you know what we might do? We might play Terra Mystica 2 players.
Oh God.
I've never played Terra Mystica 2 players. I've heard that it was really bad at 2. I mean, it's my favorite game. And so anytime Raquel's like, "Oh, we should play Terra Mystica," I'm like, "Well, we can. It's just the 2 of us." And then I listened to Boards Alive this week. They reviewed Terra Mystica. And Aaron was saying that he really enjoys it at 2. And he and I kind of have very similar tastes. They align quite a bit. So I'm going to at least try it at 2. If it plays well at 2, boom, mind blown.
Yeah. But it's still your number 1 game even after the recent play. I take it that didn't change the pecking order.
Well, it's not – I don't want to spoil it when we redo our top 10 in a month and a half. But it's gonna hold up. It's gonna hold up. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it at that.
So it's still number 1, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying anything of the sort, Alex.
That's what you're saying.
But there's gonna be some shakeups in my top 10. So if I recall correctly, and I kind of get fuzzy somewhere. Number 1 was Terra Mystica. Number 2 was Zulkin. Number 3 was Castles of Burgundy, and 4 was Caverna, or maybe flip flop. I don't remember. Somewhere in there also was Sheriff of Nottingham, The Resistance Avalon, Star Wars Imperial Assault. Kemet was in at number 10, I believe. And I'm blanking on I think Roll for the Galaxy made my top 10. And I'm blanking on the 10th one. But I think there's going to be a pretty significant shakeup. So,
stay tuned. A few weeks away from that.
What's any idea what yours is going to look like?
Not a clue.
Richie. Oh, wait, real quick. Richie Turner, our buddy Richie, is saying, "Don't do it." Are you talking about Terra Mystica, Richie?
Terra Mystica 2 players. I'm almost positive.
Okay. Well, now I'm concerned. Okay. All right, Richie.
Just play a bunch of Doxu. Just bring Doxu and just keep playing that.
No, I'm not going to bring a board game in the Uber to get us there.
What about the truck?
No, because it's just easier to Uber it. That way, if we have a beer or 2, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about parking down in Knob Hill. So, yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Any final questions out there in YouTube live stream world?
Well, that's happening. Oh, so Richie and I, I'll talk about the podcast too. Richie, Steve O'Rourke, and John Giblin and I are all playing Port Royal on Yukata.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool implementation. I've gone twice. I've taken 2 turns so far. I did really well on my first pull, and then I wasn't even pushing my luck that hard, and I had swords and everything, and I got wiped out on the 3rd card.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it was a 5 gold chip. I should have just taken the 5 gold chip and ran.
Oh, what are you doing? It's a 5 gold chip.
It was my first card.
Take it anyway. That way none of those other guys can buy anything.
Yeah, but don't I get the money when they buy stuff?
You get $1.
Okay.
That's 5 gold. You're not going to get much of a better chip than that.
All right.
Get it together, Sean.
Yeah. But I want them to buy stuff so they can give me money.
Yeah, but that's not going to be as much as the 5 gold chip.
All right. Whatever.
You have failed. You have failed.
Fair enough.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Well, what else is new? Wait, no. I'm usually disappointed in you.
Yep, that's accurate. Accurate statement.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So everyone that was able to participate, asking questions over here on the YouTube chat, we appreciate you guys stopping in. Oh, wait, one more question. Which one do you like more? Food Chain Magnate. Oh, that's really hard. I'm pretty sure it's Mombasa.
Because of the theme.
Yeah,
it's mainly
Mombasa.
the theme. That's why he likes it so much.
the pillaging of Africa? Yeah, no, that's horrible. No, the gameplay on both is excellent. Mombasa is more my style of gameplay, I think. I love the card interactions in Food Chain, which we're reviewing next week, episode 99, right?
By we?
Yeah, episode.
Ducal we.
Yeah, so have you decided? Because we're going to have Derek Davis he contributes to the What Did You Play This Week podcast, and he also has a segment on the Dice Tower podcast now, too. He's one of our Patreon Dukes, and it's going to be his episode to help review Food Chain Magnate. So what are you doing, Alex? Are you going to help review it, or are you just going to kind of sit out and be the peanut gallery? What's the plan?
Maybe we put a poll up on the guild. I'm there. I'm here. I can hear you.
I mean, you can review it. It's just what weight people are going to assign to your opinion.
Yeah, it's probably not much. I wouldn't think.
Based on your plays.
How much weight do they ever assign to my opinion, though? In fairness.
Well, I don't know. So we put up on the guild kind of a very early. So if you don't know, if you don't participate much in the guild, we got a lot of stuff going on over there. So every week we do our Dukes on Deck, which is where we tell people this is what we're reviewing this week. This is our discussion topic. This is our look back at our Dukes Ducal double take for the game we reviewed a year ago. And based on all of that, we have people contribute title suggestions for the episode, as well as input on the different games and things like that. And so I put up this one early because for our episode 104, that's our 2-year anniversary, and see if there's something people want. Because like last year, we kind of did this thing where we did a kind of a regular show, but then we had a bunch of board game media personalities come on and just give a quick little congratulations. And it was really nice, and they said some really nice things. It felt a little like pat yourselves on the back, you know? So just curious what people have to say about that, what they're looking for in our 2-year episode for episode 104. So Richie's clarified. He says on 2-player Terra Mystica, to be fair, it might have been the person more than Terra that was the issue when I played at 2 players. So okay. I'm playing with Raquel, so who knows?
Cool.
She's down here watching me. She just gave me a dirty look. So. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up then. So again, thanks to everyone that participated. Thanks to Michael Canavan from Icarus Tours for answering a bunch of questions about the game Vacation. Sounds like you had a blast, Alex.
Oh, it was fantastic. I can't wait to talk about it on episode 98.
Very cool. And once again, we're doing these thanks to our awesome Patreon contributors. So if you head on over to patreon.com/Dukes of Dice, you can see about helping to support the show as well. So thank you very much. And until next time, this is Sean.
And Alex.
And Hail Hydra, right?
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, later, everybody.
Bye.